going to continue with lecture number 2 because we didn't finish last time. So we still over here in this manipulate text file. And now we're addressing a bit of question from you guys. 1 second that I need to also visualize the screen. Okay, this goes to you. Okay. So in other words, if I search for a text file, and I also do, if you remember, okay, I can get any text file that is over here, find in my home, actually I forgot this, also dash name for searching any file. So I get, let me get one that I know, like this one. Oh, so, yeah, so for these one that are the X and Y coordinates. Okay, it's very small, bit more bigger. TXT. Yeah, maybe this should. Yeah. Okay. So Julius was mentioned, if I sorted, for example, based on lat long, these are the typical lat long, I mentioned twice, because if not, it's going to sort also in the second column. So if you don't care how it's sorting the second column, you can also avoid, but if the file is very big, then it's going to take more time, okay? So in this case, it's going to sort, and as you can see, my header is coming down, and this one as a default is the binary sorting. Okay, so you can see, okay, because there are no, anyway, it's a binary, the default is binary sorting, so always put a -G to have the typical ascending sorting. Okay, indeed, you can see that as we change now, you have the bigger value in the end, and the small one in the, so this one in the end, and the small one in the beginning of the sorting. Okay, and the header stay in the same position. Okay, because it's an alphanumeric, so the alphanumeric go first, and then you have the numerical one. So Julia was saying, okay, what about if I need to save this file? Yes, last time we saved that the ready, everything that you print in the terminal is going to be a text file, and you can save it, okay? So in this case, you can save it. Okay, check also this one. If I want to copy this full path, because I don't want to retype, you do Control K. Okay, now it's copy. And if you do Control Y, it's going to be paste. Okay, so now I do the redirect of the output, and now I paste it. As you can see, I'm not touching the mouse and also type, because you avoid mistake. And then usually what I always adding S for, because it's a sorted file. And maybe you can even say sorted the column based on which column. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to save the file. So this file, again, I'm not typing the full line. I just use the arrow up and down to retrieve the full command, okay? And over here, I want to see if there are any mistake. So the file should be completely the same in terms of size, okay? Over here, you can see the size. And if you put also the -H, H stays for human. So this one is going to be a byte, but if you put H, it's going to be kilobyte, megabyte, yeah, and gigabyte. So it's much easier to read how big it is, especially when it's becoming bigger, the file. And of course, if you want to see how many lines I have over here, I can also do WC -L, and of course they're going to be the same number, okay, because they are nothing else that sorted file, okay, they're just changing the order, okay. So once again, every time that you want to save what you are printing in the terminal, everything that you print in the terminal, you can do with the redirect over here, okay. So another example that we will see, but just to give you an idea about where we are going in terms of geoprocessing, in terms of geoprocessing, geocomputation. So for example, okay, now I want to find the TIFF file. I'm not writing again, find the full line that I wrote before, but I do again Control R, okay. When I press Control R, I go in reverse I search. Reverse so means going back in my typing. I stay for the word that I want to search and search for the word. So if I do find, you immediately get the full line that we were using before. At this point, I like that one. If I press Control R again, it's going to be to the previous one, to the previous one, to the previous one, every time that I keep pressing Control R, okay? And now okay, so Control R, find, okay? So now, if I want to modify this line, okay, what I do the arrow, the right one, and I get in the editing mode, and now I just put over here TIFF, okay? So now I can list all my TIFF. Okay, so this is also another good way to getting old scripting, old, not really scripting procedure, but line that you have used it in the past. And you can go back in several days, okay? You can go back several days. Now it's not very big because I didn't work so much with them. With this terminal, but if not, can be quite big. Okay, so so I come over here because I want to say if I use it one file over here, and we will see in a couple of days, if you do GDAL info, you are getting the information of this file. Okay, so also these are printed, are the metadata of the file. We are going to see in details. There are the matrix size, these are the projection, this is the pixel resolution, and so on. Okay, also this one, I'm going to, for example, I can write as a TIFF. Okay, of course they are not anymore a TIFF, but I can put a TXT file. Okay, and I can also type maybe meta, stay for metadata. Okay, and this one is what? This is nothing else than a text file. Okay, and of course in this text file I can grab information. So if I want to retrieve only, for example, pixel size, I do over here of this file, I do grep size, and I'm going to get, actually I'm going to get two lines. The one that is the size in terms of matrix, and the second one is pixel size. So this is to show you that even if I'm working with an image, I can retrieve information of the metadata of the image using bash command that are working with text file. That's why for us are important this text file manipulation, not only for files such as that are born as a table, but also a vector raster file that we can retrieve information. Okay. Okay, very good. So let's get another couple of questions of this kind of. Anyone want to share information and so on? Julia, was it clear? Okay.
Yes, thanks.
And try also to be curious, as I mentioned, with the other kind of bash command. There are plenty of them, okay? One that is very common to use, sequence between 1 and 25, is going to list it a sequence of number between 1 and 25. And then if you put, actually this one is is similar to the to R sequence. So rather, if you put the 2, actually you don't put over here, but I think you put in the middle, then it's going to skip, you know, every 2 until 25, okay? Every 2 until 25. And so on. So there are plenty of bash commands that you can use it for creating manipulated text file. Another one. Let's see. Something crazy that you were trying to do it.
Sir, yes, I have a question.
Yes, please, Asif.
Yes, sir. I have seen some assignments in the lectures.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a copy and move the files from the Linux directory from one folder to another one. I have done it, but
perfect.
I have don't understand another question, which is right that use and a command a file, a command use for a copy and to move from your PC to the Linux is something.
Okay, to the to the PC. No, wait a second. From your Windows to the
Yes, is
yeah,
a
you
copy.
to the server, to a server.
Yeah, from your PC to a Linux remote server.
Yeah,
Yes, 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 yes,
yeah,
exactly.
from these to a server. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone try also this command to try to copy from who has a server that I wish to copy all my data from my laptop to the server, university server, for example, but without dragging or do it one by one. Anyone has been trying? Anastasia.
Well, you can, for example, connect via SSH, and then there's a STP command.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So Anastasia is already bringing up a command that say, so, and for the people that were trying to use copy, let's start with the copy. So if I have copy in my SE data, for example, and I have exercise, perfect. So I want to get this file and I want to copy my /tmp. Once again, /tmp is a folder that I can copy the file there, and if I shut down the computer, it's going to be clean. So it's very common to do. So you do copy from to TMP, okay? So this is always the from to the TMP, okay? So if I do copy that file to the TMP, now this file is again over here, okay? So if I do a less of this one,
Sir, can you reduce some size because we not actually seen you were commanding when you entering.
sorry, a bit higher, you mean?
Yes, 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 exactly. It's fine now.
It was too down. Okay.
Yes, exactly,
Okay.
sir.
Perfect. So okay. So now like should be better now.
Perfect, perfect.
Prefer maybe I can even make big. Font. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So it's going to be from to the TMP. Okay. So and if is a folder, pay attention that if I want to copy a full folder, okay. So for example, I do exercise txt. Can I do it a full folder? So this one is exercise txt. So I'm trying to copy this one. Okay. Who has been trying to copy a folder without succeeding? Or with succeeding because then he found it. Anastasia, not for you. You are not allowed to reply. Okay, so if I enter Okay. CP dash R, not specified omitting directory. So I want to copy the full directory. So now, can I do? Is there, is written there. What should do it?
Writing down the dash R option.
Oh, okay. So if I do this one over here is correct, but is a fake correct in the sense that you are copying the full file, all the file in that folder. You are not copying the folder. Okay. So it's here. Copy dash R is not specified. So if you put this one dash R, now you copy the full folder inside to TMP. Okay, so now you can see that the TMP txt is over here. Okay, remember when you do over here, you know, when you do the copy folder, you need to specify the okay.
We use R for a whole folder.
For a whole folder, yes, for the folder. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So then the question was, can we copy also in the same way? Can we copy from from my laptop to a server? Okay. So I will show you, but I can run the command because my server is, I need VPN connection. So I'm going to lose the connection if I do it. But this is the concept. Okay. So this is my terminal, from my Linux machine, not the virtual machine. So there is one command that say SCP, okay, that stay for S is the security, okay, security copy, or shell, I think it's security copy. Okay, so as you can see over here, we should be able to understand from what I teach so far, from what I'm doing. So is over here, I'm copying from, okay, from a file that is somewhere in the server to what does mean this one? To here in the directory where I am, okay? So in this case, it's going to be in my home, okay? So now, can you recognize this? It should
It's
be
an operator.
okay, but yeah, but what does mean this one? We always say that a Linux computer can be identified by what? Like this one. Who is this one? What is this?
User.
By the user. So in my case, is actually my nickname, my ID for the server is Giuseppe Amatulli 254. Okay, just a number. Okay. At, like this one, Pop OS is my computer, and this one is the name of the server. Okay. Then I have the two dot, and then I have a full path where the file in the server is located to here, okay, in this directory. So it's the same concept, from to, okay? And of course, over here, if you have some password that you need to apply, you can insert -p to put the password, okay? So if you have a server that usually you connect with SSH, and there is the security shell to connect to that server, then you can use it, this kind of syntax from, yeah, to copy file. Okay, so anyone has some server that is willing to try, maybe not right now, but okay, Anastasia, yeah, you want to show? Okay, show.
How do I share this screen?
Yeah, so you will see.
Second.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just have to log in and then.
Perfect. So you will see from Anastasia the same kind of procedure, but of course with a different username and path and so on. But again, it's always from to the set, from to. In that case, I was getting from the server to Kier, but I can also do it from Kier to the server. Actually, usually when you do it, it's depending what you have to, if you have to downloading or uploading, okay? Okay, Anastasia is sharing.
Okay, so the server just got a number. So now I'm logged in. You can see that the address kind of changed here to here, and if I go to can you see the second terminal I just opened?
No, we are see the blue, the purple one.
Okay, then I'll just close this. This will work anyway, and now I can SCP.
Okay, so Anastasia, username at. Okay, so she's using also another way. So rather than putting in the name of the server, you can put also the IP of the server. Good
Yeah.
point. Very good, Anastasia. Okay, and then, yeah, and then the file location,
So I've got
document,
what?
and maybe one file, even if you don't have, or if you remember.
If you do double,
Perfect.
and
If you
you
press
can
tab
list all your
twice,
files, so
yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
copy.
And then you can get one of them. Okay.
And I'll just copy it to my home directory because I'm not
Perfect.
in any folder right now. So the dot, I could also do downloads, for example.
Perfect.
But just so then it shows that it completed the download, and
Okay.
so now it's
yeah, so this way that Anastasia was showing is also very common and very good if you are modifying a scripting procedure for the server, but in your laptop. Sometimes you have a very slow connection, so you are not able to modify you editing the script in the server. So you are editing in the computer, and then from the computer you push it back to the server, and then you run in the server. Okay, so very good, Anastasia. Anyone else want to try another way, another? Anyone? Kira, do you want to try something fancy this weekend? Apart of solving, did you solve the installation in your?
No, I was gonna ask you actually just now if the .tiff files are available in a public repo somewhere that I can just
Yes.
use to download.
Yeah,
So
yeah, perfect. So if you go in the installation of the OSGeo Live, the last one on the bottom, there is the Git clone.
okay.
And that Git clone you can get in your Mac.
Okay, yeah. Let me do that right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
because over there you can keep working for a while. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's move to the class. I'm sharing again. One second. Second. Okay, so we were over here, manipulated text file. So we were see the use of head and tail for checking the in terms of text file, the first 10 lines, the last 10 lines, and so on, using of grep, sorting a file. So all these one, actually, let me make bigger. Okay. Sorting a file. So all these one were quite neat to see, okay? We stop it on the use of the variable, okay? But before to starting this one, let me open the Jupyter Lab, because there are going to be some for loop that is easier to copy, okay? So over here, you can enter in the same directory, okay? And then from here, you can do Jupyter Lab. Actually, use Jupyter Lab in Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, okay? And you can open the same, it's perfect the same that you see over here is also present as a Jupyter Lab, okay? So we can scrolling down and arriving where we were. So as you can see, they are perfect the same. This one you can minimize, because if not, it's going to be also annoying. And usually is also very good to have another file, another terminal open also to check something, okay? Okay, so the use of variables. So every programming language, pay attention about this, use variable to replicate, to repeat some particular operation. And these variables are identified by a word equal to a specific value. That can be a number, or that can be also a letter or words, okay? Usually I always try to give a meaning of the variable that I'm working. So if I'm working with the temperature, I'm going to write a TMP. If I'm working with the precipitation, I'm going to write rep, okay? But usually quite often, you know, you see the typical var, or sometimes a letter, okay, like I or J. Quite often also J is used, okay. So let's keep it var in order to use it for our purpose. So when a variable has been defined in Bash, pay attention, in order to recall it, okay, you do it with echo $var. Okay, be careful about the dollar, because it's going to have several meaning in Bash. So always pay attention when there are these special character that can retrieve different yes meaning. Okay, echo $var, I'm going to print the variable. Okay, so in R is the typical when you do print or paste. In Python is also print. Actually, in Python is an object that you give as a variable, so you just enter the name of the variable. So be careful that if you do var, nothing is going to happen. Actually, it's going to tell you that it is a command that it doesn't find. So again, if you want to recall it, the value of that variable, you have to put echo in front, and also $var. Okay, the dollar to recall the variable. Okay, so perfect. So so if you remember, this one I need to enter in the same one. So if you remember the CD, this one. So this slash. Oh, now I have the same thing. Okay, so over here, I was working also in this input.txt file. You remember cat input, the file from yesterday, from the last time. Okay, so it was a text file, and in particular, I was getting the information. I was getting the information of grep 2007 pipe pussy-l. Okay. So over here, you can see that I'm retrieving the number 189. So at this point, I can also use this variable, this value, and assign directly to the variable. So if I put everything, this one, inside the round brackets, round brackets, and the dollar, okay, be careful that this one is the one that identified that the full output of this line is going to be assigned to the var, okay? Copy. Over here, var is equal to the full result of that one, okay? So what does mean that now if I print echo var is going to be assigned to the result of that command is going to be assigned to the variable. So this is how you glue it and assign the result of variable to the result of a command, the result of a command to a variable, okay? So pay attention that this one is much better to see and to have a result of a number, of a letter, not to a file, okay? So don't give the name to a file to a variable, okay? So in other words, if also this over here, if you do ls, you can assign the list of all the file to is much easier if you do something like this, it's going to be quite complicated. Okay, because everything is assigned to the is going to be assigned to the full. And now if I do echo var, you know, it's going to be only the first one, okay? Actually, because I have only one file, but if I do txt epynp, so don't do this kind of stuff. Okay, you can do it, but then it's becoming much complicated. Okay, so where in our case, in this case, where my variable is going to be a list of file name, okay, and not only one word. So there are many words in so it's possible to work also with these variables that are more is a string of word, but is much more complicated. Try always, especially in the beginning, to assign just one word or just one number as a variable. Okay, come on.
Sorry for interrupting, Giuseppe. I have problem with Jupyter. Doesn't work for me. I don't know why. It works before, but not. Yeah, Jupyter Lab doesn't open.
Do a fast sharing. If not, you can try also to work like I'm doing, you know, from the web page. You can, but anyway, try a fast sharing and let's see.
Can you see my screen?
Giuseppe, you're muted.
That's right. So Jupyter Space Lab and then bash.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah, take out notebook. space lab. Space lab.
Okay,
Take
okay,
out
okay.
notebook.
Sorry.
Yeah. Take out. No, no, no. No, I don't think. Maybe yes, also with the dash. Okay, also with the dash probably it's working. Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Sorry
Yeah.
for that.
Okay, you can stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me share again. Sharing. Okay. So you should be able to see. Okay. So where I was over here, echo $var, try to avoid to assign to a variable a string with different word. Always try to assign only one word or only one variable. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's see a real result, a real example where, for example, I want to grab the information always in this file of year 2005, 2006, 2007, okay? And I want to only select this year, okay? So if I do over here, you can see that over here is going to be the 2005. And if I do the tail of this selection, is going to be 2007. Okay, so this is a huge file where I have 2005, 2006, 2007. Okay, so now let's suppose that I want to count how many observations I have in each single year. I can just put over here pipe WC-L to count that in 2005 is going to be 121, 2006 is going to be 280, 2007 189. Okay, the for loop, I think I didn't explain, but I think that for everybody is clear what is a for loop. Is an application, an action that has been repeated several times. Okay, and in this case, I'm checking how many observations are in 2005, 2006, 2007. Okay, so this is quite important, especially again when you're working with huge file, with many TXT file, rather than importing directly in Python or in R, you can do a screening action, let's say, with Bash, with a few commands that I'm teaching you in order to understand what you have, and also to select some particular file, okay? Because in particular, if you were many file over here, you just put like this. If you have many input file, not only one, you just put just an asterisk, is going to loop through all your file, okay? So this is quite handy, especially if you download the GSIM data that is start to be a bit big data set, then it's quite handy to work in this way, okay? Perfect. Of course,
Giuseppe, I have a
yes,
question.
please, Kira.
So,
Yeah.
so the idea, the advantage here is that so I understand, like if you could do this in Python, but it's just many more lines and it's more inefficient than doing it in Bash. That's
Perfect.
the idea. Okay.
You catch your point. You guys, most of you are using Python. I don't want to say that one is better than the other, okay? But I want to say that when you have many text file, okay, in order to screening and see what you have, then you do some more deep analysis inside Python. But with this way, with these few lines, you can screening and making a a data analysis of your text file. Very good. So we can do some kind of also in the GSIM folder. But let's do it later, because later on we are going to address it a bit in the GSIM folder. But this is the idea, okay? Especially when you have big data, because what is going Python when, okay, why Bash is faster in this case than Python? Because, and is also not memory driven, let's say. Because every time that you open a file inside Python, the file is going to be read full into the memory. There are also some way to not read into the memory, but the default is to read into the memory. So if you have 5 giga of file, all the file is going to be read inside to the Python memory, and that one is going to occupy your memory, okay? Rather, Bash is always using a very small amount of the memory to read and process the file, and then later on is used to and what is remaining from the RAM can be used for the computation, okay? So especially if you keep working with your laptop that you don't have the HPC, now the laptop have 16, 32, then it start to become, not many people have more than 32 giga for a laptop. So you have to really manage your RAM very well. So if you start to use R and Python with huge text file, then you will see that you are going to soon reach the capacity of the file, of your file, okay? And also because when you have many files and you have to do, for example, like I mentioned before, so easy to do like this. You just select all the input file and you just get how many observations you have in 2005, 2006, and 2007. Okay. Okay, very good. So you have different syntax, okay, for the for loop. This one is the typical one where you listed when you listed year, okay. Of course, if there are many, if it's a serious number, you can go from 2000 to 2008. Be careful about this one, increasing by 1, okay. So this is very similar to C syntax if somebody is familiar with it, with the C syntax, okay. So be careful also, these one are 2 brackets, 2 round brackets, and here there are the semicolon. Also over here, be careful that there is always semicolon, do, so this one is perfect the same over here. And then here you can specify. So over here, I'm adding another information. That as soon as I process 1 year, then I save it to the file. Okay, so to this file. Okay, and then it's going to be 2000, save it to this file. 2001, save it to this file. And in particular, it's going to be appended underneath. Okay, so then if I print it, then it's going to be for each file listed. Be careful that over here, I'm removing the file before entering into the loop. Anyone can tell me why? What do you think?
Not to add up to the existing file.
Perfect. So if in case I'm going to rerun again, the for loop is going to append every time, especially when you do the append, always the two things, always to remove the file before, okay? Because if not, is piling up, you know? So it's better to remove before. So the same for loop can be written also in another way. So let me copy this one over here. Let me go here. Okay, so the same loop can be written also in this way. Okay, anyone, pro and con of both of them, they're going to give the same result. You can run, we can run it and see that they are perfectly the same. Here, and so you can see that they are the same. Okay. So they are perfectly the same. But which are the difference between these and these? In terms of processing. Also, we are trying to understand how the computer works.
It holds the data in the memory.
Perfect, yeah. So which one?
Second one.
The second one is going to keep all the information in the memory. So what does it mean? That over, okay, let's do it over here. Every time that one number of these, one search has been processed, is going to be saved to the input.txt file immediately. Okay. Rather, in this way, is going to save it to the input word count txt. Only all of them has been processed. So when this one has been done for the 8 years, then it's going to save it. Okay. In the meantime, where they are in the run. Okay. So this one is going to be faster than this. Okay, but in case this case is just one number, so it's not a problem. This line retrieve just one number, so it's not a problem. But try to think that this is a huge file, a huge list of numbers. Okay, that in that case is going to pile it up inside to the RAM. Okay, so you have to always try to balance and see which one is better. Okay, so if this is a very long process, another question, if this one is very long process, this for loop, you can imagine that take 1 hour. And you want to see how it's going, which one is better?
First one.
The first one, perfect, because immediately it's going to do the first year, is going to be saved, and this file I can open in my terminal and see that is growing and see if it's already my for loop is fine. Rather, this one, I'm going to wait until the end of the for loop to get the result, and maybe it is wrong. Okay, so this one can be also a good solution when you want to see something that is how is going on, the for loop. Okay. Something very good also is to print the variable inside the for loop to see what is going on. Okay, so for example, over here, I can do echo what $var. Okay, and now I can see, now it's going to be very fast. It's going to see that it's processed 2000, 2001. So I'm printing the variable that is doing. And of course, the result is going to be still in the input.txt file. So over here, I'm just printing inside to the terminal. So this is very good to print the echo $var. Quite always I do it in order to see what is going on. And especially when you have different for loop inside a for loop, then you can understanding what is going on.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So let's say you want in your input WC text file, you want it to be like 2000:62,
Okay.
2001.
Okay, very good one. So so Kira say, okay, I want that. I think this is what you are asking, that over here is also to you know, 2062, 2001, 34, and so on. It is? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this one it start to become a bit tricky to work in this way. There is not an easy way, so you will see the syntax that is a bit, but we can try to do it together. So do you remember that the result of one command, okay, can be glued together and getting the result, okay? So I can do it over here, this line, I can transfer here, actually, if I do like this, and I can glue it, this full command all together. So echo is going to print the variable, but also the result of this command. And now if I run it, the 2000 is not going to appear anymore because I put it inside to the line. And if I print this one, it's going to be 2062 and so on. Okay, so this is starts to become a bit tricky, but it is possible to do it. This kind of, maybe there is also another way. Bash is full. Okay, any programming language can be done in different way, the same result. But this is the way out process. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Anyone else with this kind of curiosity? Because you can immediately, we can immediately see, you know, how to combine in this way. No. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have. Hello, Giuseppe. Just a very quick question. If you could explain again very quickly the syntax of the for loop. I mean, how does it loop through the variables? Because maybe I lost it in the line up in the one line.
Okay.
No. Still in the number 9 in the code where we were now.
Over key, you mean this one?
No, the one below. Sorry,
the one
yeah,
below. Okay.
Yeah, here
Over
where you say is for var 2000 and then var. I mean between 2000 and 2008.
Yeah, between 2000 2008, and then this one is plus 1. Okay, this is the typical C syntax. Okay, there are also other way to do it. +2. Okay, so for example, I don't know the symbol for doing +2, but for example, I would do it perfect the same with the sequence, with the one that I just did it before. So with the sequence, you remember that I did sequence before. So I can do it like this. Okay, so if I do sequence from 2000 to 2008, I get every two, no? So over here, I can do again for var in sequence. Okay, now the result is going to be over here. So this one is going to be assigned one by one to the variable. So sequence from 2000 to 2008. Okay, so this is another way to do it also. So this is another nice example. So adding like I did it. Okay. And
okay,
of
thanks.
course,
Yeah.
these for loop, these are just the basic, then they become bigger. Okay. Perfect. Okay, inside a for loop, of course, you can put some, you know, some if condition, like usually is done in Python, in R, to exclude or to insert some Boolean operation, you know. So in this case, for example, and be careful about this, the syntax over here, you have always if, then you have the square brackets here, $here, and actually in this case, always assign a variable to, we are working with the year, so call it year rather than var. It's much easier also to reread your scripting procedure after a while. Then you have not equal. So this is the typical not equal, common also in other language. Then semicolon, then, and be careful that over here you need to close it, the fee. Okay, it's not like Python, the indent. Actually, also here you can even remove the indent. Nothing happened, but we put it just to understand better the for loop. And over here is going to not process the 2003. Okay. So you can have the okay, over here I get cannot remove the output txt file because it was just the first. To avoid this one, you can put the -f to avoid that if it's not there, remove it and does not produce any error, okay, if it's not there. Okay, so these are perfect the same, is the same kind of example that I did it before, that you can do it appending or as a final final output of the file. So over here you can also glue it different kind of command. So for example, I need to know in each year which was the biggest, so the largest file and print it. So in this case, in my case, the column number 5 was the largest. So we remember that the largest was with the sort command. Okay, you can get minimum maximum. You can, yes, minimum maximum of a value. And here you can do, okay, grep. Do you remember that I was putting also this one to be sure that I'm going to select the year with the space before and after? Okay, then I can do sorting, and then I can get the last one because I do reverse sorting in from the smallest to the largest, and then I can get the last one. Okay, so in other words, I can also testing. So if I do like this, I can test my line that I'm going to put it inside. So always a good way to testing a for loop, you do it like this. Okay, and you do, so you paste, let me put the bash, and you do year equal, you put just a number equal 2000. Now you are see how the for loop is behaving, okay, by inserting year equal to 2000, and then you say, okay, test with the 2000 what is going on. Okay, and over here I'm getting only this is tail number 1, so I can make it bigger. Okay, now if I run this one, you can see that I'm testing for 2002. This is the largest. If I want to see the smallest, I can do head, and it's going to be, see that probably is going to be below 1. Okay, so this is how you glue it together. Of course, more pipe you put it, more is holding in the RAM, and more is complex to follow up the syntax and to identify if there are potential mistakes. But anyway, this is, I always say, is filling up the RAM. I never had a problem with bash for filling up the RAM. Okay, so you need to really do it heavy computation before to having RAM issues using bash. Okay. Yes, please. Question, Ishan.
Yeah. So I have two questions. So first is the FI here. below the one line you marked. What is the mean? So in yeah,
Sorry, where?
the 30 the box 30 the one above.
Okay.
Yeah, here, and there's a FI before.
Yeah, this is for closing the loop. Sorry, not the
Okay.
loop, sorry, the fee, the if
Close the if. Okay.
close this one. Very good. This is to should be also this one. This is for closing the if.
Yeah, and the done is for closing the for, right?
And the done is for closing the for loop. Yeah, very good.
Okay. And the second question is like, for example, the output here is with several, so 4 or 5 columns, and is it possible? Oh, I guess it is. Like how to save it to maybe a CSV files and like with several columns.
Okay,
so
so
now we are saving it to the text file, but then I guess there's also a way to save it to CSV, right?
perfect. So okay, so over here you can put again a pipe, and you can do it in 2 ways, or with an AWK, and we will see later on, or with the set, with set. Okay, set is another string manipulator where you can, in the syntax, I always copy paste, I never remember the syntax. So so over here you should say, okay, all the space becomes CSV, and you should do it something like, now I try to guess it, but it's not like this, it's something like this: space, comma, something like this. Okay, where this one is the space that has to be changed with this comma. Okay, but check it, because I'm not using so much C. Okay, but this is the way to do it. Okay, space change, probably you do G is everywhere, and then changing from here to here. Okay, and with AWK, yeah, we can see later on. But anyway, let me check. Let me write also with AWK. In this way, you can. Okay, so this one I'm much more sure. So this one we can do it. $1, that is going to be this column, and then be careful about here that you need quotation, and then $2, and so on. Okay. Or there is also another way. Okay, so here you put all the column and then close it. There is also another way with identify the field delimit the field separator for the output. There is also another way to do
it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, cool. Luca.
Yeah, just a curiosity. If you could briefly show if you can also do else conditions with the if.
Yeah, very good.
So in this case, we just seen one.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible, but
bravo. Yeah, very good point. You just put over here else, and then over here the other condition, echo nothing, whatever, the other option. Okay.
okay, so no parentheses, no, you just add the else statement.
Yeah,
okay.
just put else, yeah, and then the other line, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Very good. Okay. Okay, any?
I had the question for the same.
Nikita, yeah.
How can we exclude not only 1 year, like 2003 and 2005, for example?
Okay, over here, not equal to 2000. Okay, so if you do, if you do just a bigger, you exclude everything bigger, but in this case, should be like this. And be careful about this, it should be or not equal to 2004. So you identify this one is or, and this one is and. Okay, so of course, or and and are different and they can be used in a different way. So over here should be or, not equal to 2003 or 2004. Okay. This one you can check if condition in bash and Boolean operators. So these are the typical and or, and you can see the syntax of this one. Okay. Any other question so far? So this is the checking the flow statement is the one that I did before, that usually is very good to put an echo condition to print what you are doing, okay? To print what you are doing. So this is very common. And also something very good also to check what is doing, rather than putting the full year range, you just put 1 year like I did before. So in this case, for year equal to, so this one I would just try for 1 year and then see what is going on. For year in 2000, I will just try like this. Maybe I try another year, 2002. If I see immediately that is correct, then I do what was before, okay? This is a good way to process. Okay. This is how I was running manually just for 1 year and see what is going on, okay? Let's do it also a bit of debugging. There are some, there are the typical debug. Okay, be careful about the debugging in Jupyter Lab, because over here you are getting both syntax error of bash, but also Python error. Okay, if you are working R, sorry, if you are working bash, just ignoring the Python error and focus over here. So for example, over here, I'm not is the typical error that I forgot to close the for loop. Okay, so be careful about this kind of, so now if I run it, everything is fine, okay? So sometimes you have also little error in the syntax of the for loop. So for example, over here, and it's telling you, you know, syntax error near an expected token. So close to the brackets, there are this one. Okay. So these are the kind of, or maybe a command that cannot be found. For example, I was writing grep rather than grep. Okay. And so on. So I would give you a bit of few minutes to try to, like 10 minutes to run this command by yourself, adding few line more, try to do something with this file, or even build up a for loop for your file to do some kind of data analysis, and then we can see how you perform it and where you get stuck and so on, how you succeed. Okay. Okay. The terminal for you, Luca.
Yeah, sorry, no, I take the occasion to ask you this question now. How do you copy paste from the Jupyter Lab to the terminal? I remember you said it, but I was able last time, but I cannot
for
anymore.
Jupyter Lab is a bit
Okay, it's a bit tricky. Okay.
Sorry.
Because when I tried to do it also manually with the mouse, I don't really
over
copy.
Here you can copy Control C, Control V, it works.
Yeah.
Then if you do it here, paste clipboard. Yeah, if you do paste clipboard, you can also paste over here. Yeah, of course, now it's not going to work because I have this one. So of course, if you want to in the terminal, don't copy that one. Yeah. Okay. So play a bit with the terminal.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
Welcome. So over here you can see I'm sorting and I'm getting just the okay, this is going to be the smallest, but if you put tail, it's going to be the largest for this particular year. And if you do it over here, you have the full range of year, the largest file. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a break in this way. Then we can start AWK. Due to that, we already enter over there. So we come back at 50. Okay, 20 minutes. Let's starting with the, oops, I closed it. So we go to the second part of the lecture, first part of the lecture of today. We resume it. So in particular over here, we are going to address it. Yeah, this one, okay. AWK. So so I need this, and then yes, this one. Okay, perfect. So AWK is a quite old language. Has been developed by in the 70s by Alfred O, Peter Wenger, and Brian Kernighan, and you can see that they use the initial for naming the language, and these are the same person that has been developed a C language, and you can see that for people knowing C, these are the syntax is very similar. Okay, so why we are going to use it AWK even if it's an old language? Because again, for text manipulation, is still one of the fastest language to do operation in text file. Okay. Before the arrival of Python, before the arrival of R, everything was done in AWK, but the syntax is quite complex. Even to do some simple operation, you need to build up your function, like standard deviation. You need to build up a line to calculate the standard deviation. Okay, so there is not a function already pre-existing like stdev in R or in Python to be able to calculate, to elaborate this operation. But it's still very useful to know for some summary of the data of the file. When I was when I started to work in the beginning of 2000, you know, R was not so powerful for a simple reason, and Python was not existing at all for a simple reason, because the RAM was not so huge. So the only way to process 1 giga file was to use AWK. And I did very complex scripting procedure, like 20, 40 lines of AWK in order to be able to calculate standard deviation, to calculate, you know, Pearson coefficient, this kind of operation. Nowadays, we don't need anymore, but we need some very simple command, and you will see, you will learn it quite soon. For example, Kirat was already using one to screen in the data, to make it smaller and to make smaller or more essential to do some kind of selection before to enter in R or to enter in Python. And there is one exercise later on that you can do it by yourself with the GSIM data, where you can really see the powerful of this kind of language. You can see also this recorded lecture over here from the last year, and these are the minutes that you have to scrolling in order to go directly to that item for the AWK, for example. So keep in mind always, AWK is not reading the file inside the memory, but is going to read line by line. So this is always to keep in mind in order to understanding how AWK is processing, is thinking. Okay. So if this is my huge text file, okay, so it's going to use the memory just for the first line, then the second, then it's going to compute the second line, and so on, and going down inside to the text file. The typical structure of AWK is this one. Also try to understanding this very well. So there is a starting, you start with AWK, lowercase letter, then you have single quotation, open and close, then you have a file, then if you want to save the output, you redirect the standard output to a file. Okay, so pay attention over here. You have some pattern, some action, okay, before to reading the file. So before to reading this file, you can have some action. Then you can have some action during the reading of the file, and then you can have some action during the end of the file. Okay, so it's always split in three: before the file, during the reading of the file, after the reading of the file. This pattern, as you can see, is between square brackets. So what does it mean? That can be optional, can be there or cannot be there. And the same for the last one. Okay, rather the action, the central one, quite often is always present. Okay, so this pattern is identified with the word begin. Rather the last one, the last one is identified with the word end. So in other words, you know, this is the syntax, the full syntax: begin, do an action, and this is always there, be an action before to reading the file, do something during the reading of the file, so it's scrolling line by line down, and do an action in the end of the file, okay? And this can be read like I was reading now, beginning action before to read input txt, action during the input txt reading, okay, because this is always this one, and action after the input txt reading. So in other words, so if this is my file, it's going to do something over here before to read the file, if I want, then it's going down reading the file, and then it's going to do something in the end by reading the file, okay? And once again, when AWK is reading the file, is not loading everything to the memory. It's going to be reading line by line, going down into the file. And this down is going to be vertical. It's a kind of internal for loop, okay? So that's why the RAM is never full, because the full RAM is computed just for one line, okay? Then is storing the result if you need to store it, or is printing, and then is going to the second line, and so on. Okay, so let's see, there are some, let's go directly inside to this txt file, and I'm going to to open the Jupyter Lab. Actually, this one is very easy to copy paste and easier to with the terminal. So if I enter in txt file, so if I enter in, I'm going to use this one, txt. Okay, so I'm going to use average file.file. Okay, so this is still our file that now you should be able to read in particular. Okay, so there are some existing variable that has been already defined inside AWK. In particular, we already mentioned that AWK has been defined already with, if I do $2, is going to print only column number 2. I forgot print. Okay, so it's going to print $2. Okay, if I do it comma, be careful that comma doesn't mean over here, doesn't mean that is going to print a comma, but just a separator of the two columns, and then going to do $5 and going to use $5 and $2 and $5. So, and as you can see in this case, the separator identifies the space. If I want a comma, then over here, I can write a quotation and use the quotation to identify the separator as a comma. This is how you create a CSV for people that were asking, okay? Okay, pay attention. What was identified over here, the dollar in bash?
Column.
Okay, no, in bash, what the dollar means in bash? Was identified a variable.
A variable. Yeah.
A variable, perfect. So it's pretty the same also inside AWK, but with thinking how the AWK work. In other words, $2, it means altogether column number 2, but why? Because, okay, because this one is the variable that is changing in the first line, then is becoming this one, then is becoming this one, then is becoming this, is going down. That's why there is a dollar that identify a variable that is changing in column number 2. Okay, but then we say column number 2, but again, is a value that is changing by scrolling down inside to the txt file. Okay, so this is very useful. Okay, so due to that we are here, so people were asking, yes, people were asking, I think Kirat was asking this, I want to, the number of observation in 2000 in each year. And they say even easier than what you think in this way, because over here you are sorting only number 2, the number of year. Then you can use sorting and you do a sorting. In this way, you have all the year together. And then you have this nice command that say unique -c, and is giving to you in each single year how many observations you have. Okay, so it's much easier than the for loop. Okay, so this unique is very good because, and once again, if you have many files, you just do it here. $5, boom. Okay, all together. You don't need a for loop, but go through each file and is already implemented all together. Okay, so, and this was also a similar question was also asking by Kira. He's left. I think he left a bit. Okay, so this is how you sort. Be careful that this one, if you don't see. Okay, sort unique. Be careful about putting sort, because first you need to sort the file and then you have to do the unique. Actually, Okay, now question for you. I do unique. If I have huge file, what do you think is better as a syntax? So, okay, maybe it's not easy, this question. So can I do something in this file using the same kind of syntax and make it faster, especially, okay, among these, which one you think is the more complex algorithm to run? Between printing, sorting, and unique.
Maybe printing.
No, printing is printing everything without doing any calculation.
The unique, probably. He's
The
gonna check
unique,
him.
not really, because unique is going to the count the first one and go to one unique, and then he's adding the second one. So the most complex is the sorting, the more computational intense, because each number need to be checked with the others and so on. Okay, so probably with a huge file, I would do it like this: unique, and then you're already screaming you're already. If there are two that are in the same way, I mean, close by, they're already making a sum, then you do unique, then you need sorting, and then you need unique again. Okay, in this way, this one is going to reduce the numbers of row, then you do the sorting in order to be sure, and then you do the unique. Anyway, just to this one, you have always tried to think how to make your process better. Okay, so this is just an example. And if somebody want to play with this one, can see which one is the fast and which are the caveat, because there are some caveat over there that need to be addressed. Anyway, the one that we were doing, the easy one was sorting, and then unique, and the C is going to count how many observations you have for each number, for each year. Okay, perfect.
So I have a question. So
yeah,
so you aren't putting the begin or end in the awk commands?
perfect. So this is coming. So these operations are done in the file. The beginning and the end can be there or cannot be there. They are optional. Okay, not all the three need to be there. You can do one of the, you can do two, you can do three, you can do. So now we are just understanding what is doing during the reading of the file. Okay, but good question. Okay, so then there is also print a number of field. Okay, Saverio, be ready with this one because it's for you. Okay, so number of field is going to print, okay, and be ready with your data. Is going to be print number of field is going to print the number of field, so the number of column. Okay, so in my case, all of them are 5. Okay, so what I can do it if there are not 5 columns over here. All of them are 5 in my case. But how I'm going to check? If I'm scrolling, all of them are, what I can do?
Sorted.
Sorted, and then?
Then tail or head.
Sort.
Just check it.
Okay, tail, but okay, you can do the tail also in the sort in the head.
Yes, unique.
Bravo, yeah, very good, yeah, unique. Okay, in my case, there are only 5, so I'm getting 5. But if there will be, you know, if I'm going to get more, okay, so for example, I can I modify this? Oh, no, let me not modify. But if there are 4, it's going to arrive 4 and 5. So this is a good way to understand if all your text file, how many number of fields, so how many columns, if all of them have 5, or in this case, okay? So it's very good. So Saverio, for you that you are working with the CSV, so you can do over here, and you can check if you have commas inside the description that can fake your field delimitator, okay? So if you do it, if I remember correctly, is output format, no, field separator, and then you do comma, and then you do number of field, then you do your CSV. So if you get only one number, you means that all your comma are just for delimiting, making delimitation of the columns. If you need more, means that you have a comma inside to the description of your column. For example, a country that has, no, I don't know, New Zealand, and between New and Zealand, there is a comma or something like this. Okay, so this is how you are able to check the, and you can even try even now, limited. Then we have Luca, we have Laura. First girl, Laura.
Yeah, can you detect missing values with this?
Can you detect? Okay, very good question. Be careful about missing value. So one space, yeah, very good question. Space or even more than one space is considered as field separator. Okay, so let's suppose that you one column, so in my case, my CSV, actually, you know, let me create a copy. So copy this one, and I do F, stay for fake, okay? And create a file. Because I did CSV, this one is TXT. Okay. Average months.
I think it's an ask.
Sorry. Yeah, right. Let's see. Okay. Okay, now I do the fake one. Okay, now to be easier, let me do Emacs, and I can open in the terminal, and I can remove an item over here, and then let's suppose that over here I have a fake one, a missing, okay? Okay, good question. So this one is going to calculate, is going to check me, print number add, okay? Because it's the fake. Perfect. So over here is going to tell me that something is missing, okay, inside to these columns, okay? Because over here it can be a missing column. Don't know if you remember the file. Okay, so over here was missing, but be careful, it doesn't tell me where is missing. It tells me just that there are 4 lines, so four columns. So it can be useful to understand that something is missing, okay? If there is nothing over here, then can be a bit a problem to handling with the AWK, okay? Luca.
Yeah, okay, so my question, it was connected to this. So basically AWK is going line by line and checking how many columns has at least the value. And so if it has a value here, it returns 5. And in this case, it gave you 4 because one column was empty.
Yeah, because
for
over
that
here,
line.
yeah, over here is missing. So it's considered this one, everything as a field separator. Because
Okay.
we say that the space is a field separator and is even more than one. Can be that you can treat this one more than one space as a value and not as a field separator, but as a default is going to consider it. So always be careful when you ingest the data and understanding if they have this kind of situation where it's completely empty, the cell, okay? Very good. But I think we lost Luca anyway.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah.
there, yeah, you change position, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, cool. Kumar.
Yeah, I also tried to try to sort the fifth column in a numeric way, but I think it's work like
Yeah, because you
binary.
were working with the first column, isn't it?
No, it was for the fifth one. I
The
tried
fifth
to...
one, okay, this one, okay, if you do unique with this one, you know, could be that they are all of them different because their number is square kilometer. So could be that are completely different. So could be that unique doesn't match any unique. They're all of them are unique. I never did it, but we can try.
I
We can
mean,
do.
sort it in a numeric way, or because I tried to, I also put -g, but it just sorted in a binary way.
Print the number 5, so we print only column number 5, then we do sorting -g, and this one is going to sorting base, the smallest file is this one, and then tail, this one is the biggest. Okay. Okay, okay, so this one is telling you that I can sort it. Maybe I can say with this one, can I see if there are, for example, 2 fire with the same Barnett area? In other words, I'm checking these, one of 2 adjacent, because they are sorted, they will be in Barnett area. So I can do unique -c, all of them are 1, okay? So I can even say, okay, let me check if grep, I can do the first column is not equal to this. And I can see if some of them not equal is -v for grep. You can also do it that. And then you do also the space. Okay, so look, there are few Barnett area with the same value. Okay, so these are the kind of analysis that you can do it.
Can you show the command again that you just used to do it?
The -v means V is for verbose. I mean, verbose opposite. Quite often when you want void, yeah, when you want to avoid something is the -v quite often, okay? Or you can do it also with WK with the if condition. We can check also, okay?
So I'm confused. How does it find how does the grep command help us find like whether they're equal?
Equal is without. Okay, so you don't put anything, it's just equal. Okay, equal to 1 in this case. Rather, if I put not equal to 1.
Huh.
Okay.
So V is it verbose or is it
no, see, yeah, sorry, it's not verbose, it's not equal.
Not equal, okay.
Yeah, it can be,
okay.
yeah, I'd say verbose, but in this case it's not verbose, yeah. Not equal. Okay.
So not equal.
Not equal. Okay, so the same is for the number of row. Okay, so AWK, and here you can see what does mean number of row. If I do print number of row, is going to print what? What do you think? Is going to print for each line the number of row. We say is scrolling down, so it's going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until the end. That's why over here is where you see that a number of row that AWK is working line by one, because this variable is for each row. Okay, perfect. So so these are very useful if you want to count number of, or if you want to add in an ID. Okay, so if you want to add in an ID, you put number of row and then column number 1, column number 2, and so on, and you put a number of ID in front. Okay, so very useful for this kind of information. Okay.
I have just a question. I tried with my dataset and it stops to 1999. I can share. Probably there is a cap.
Yeah, no,
Over.
I'm already thinking what you. Okay, people will reply to you. So Saverio is trying to use AWK to check if his field separator CSV.
Right. That's the line I used.
Okay.
AWK. I set the comma as a separator, and then I want just check the number of rows into my. Yeah.
Okay.
I probably the sort is not needed in this case. I don't know. Or just
Number of field, number of row. No. Okay, so wait a second. So first of all, the sorting is going to, okay, print the number of row is going to tell you, you know, each row, how many row you have, okay? The sorting is giving, the default is the binary sorting. So if you wanted the usual sorting, the smallest, the biggest, -G.
Okay.
Okay,
like
so
this?
No, the small, yeah. Quite often are always lowercase, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so this one, yeah, enter. Okay, so this one is the number of row that your file has. So let's see now, you can Control-C and stop, because it's print all of them. So go back, and now let's see number of field. Okay, so go back there, yeah, number of field, NF, NF, yeah, and then sort -G.
Oh, sure.
No, Control-C, stop it. Okay, Control-C for stop it,
Okay.
-G, you can leave it.
Okay, and then
space, and then unique. So now what I'm getting, if there is one comma in the column, let's say, enter. Actually, yeah, okay, yeah. So if there is one comma, yeah, so look how many. So probably you should have 19 row, probably. So you have comma somewhere else due to the description, because you have also some notes. And
notes.
So on.
Probably in the
What
notes.
is happening that when the people will import this file inside Python, and you will see field separator is going to happen this. They are going to have different columns.
Okay.
So the alternative is remove the comma in the description, maybe put a semicolon, whatever.
Okay.
Or use another field separator.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a way how to check a CSV, especially when you get CSV from other people, immediately check this kind of situation. Is my CSV really a separator, or can be also
I misinterpreted.
If you have it, and then it's a bit a nightmare. You know, you need to go one column by column to try to understand where are these comma. You know, if the file is small, maybe you open it with the Excel and then you try to, you know, move it or remove the CSV. Sorry, the comma where it's needed. But if it's big, so always double check this kind of error. Okay, good example.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, these examples are very useful because they bring you to the ground how to use the. Okay, so perfect. So let's see now for Kirat. Let's see beginning and end. Okay, so over here we see one example. Here's one. Okay, so we see one example how to use, for example, beginning and end. So let's suppose that I want to do the sum of the Barnett area. So this is very useful when you want to do the sum of one column. You do it this way. Print sum is going to bring the header of your new value, just the header, nothing else. then sum is going to be equal plus, actually plus to $5. So what is happening that sum in the beginning is nothing. There is no value for sum. Then in the first row, due to that is going up, sum is going to be the value of $5. Then is going to be the second row. Sum is going to be the value of the first one plus the value of the fifth row, of the fifth column, and so on. Just in the end is going to print sum. Okay, so this is a typical syntax, and you can easily find also in internet, do the sum of one column in AWK. It is done in this way. Pay attention that over here I have this printf. When I'm printing, and the F stay for the format that I want to give, because I can do it, you know, print F, and the F stay for floating point, and the default is 6 number after the comma. Okay, if over here I put, let me copy this line. If over here I put, yeah, okay, I don't need this one. So this one, if I can modify, and now I never remember, I think it's dot 2. No, maybe it's before. Never remember this one. Sum and, because I put here dot 2. Okay, so if I put dot 2, I'm going to print only 2 decimal after the dot. Okay, so this one, the printf is going to modify. I think you have this something very similar in R and also in Python, I think, and in C, of course, also. Okay, so you can play. Of course, you can do, you know, just print. Okay, yeah, because here there's an. Okay, but of course, yeah, that's why I put the, because the print sum is going to be this scientific number, and I want a real number, not a scientific number. Okay, so let's put over here print sum. Okay, so now can I calculate the average easily?
Yeah, you should just find the number of rows.
Number of row, we know the number of row.
Yeah, and then just divide.
Is with what?
Is divide sum divided by the number of.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. How it was identified, the number of row we checked before.
Tail, like the last,
No,
because
no.
you just sorted and you
No,
just
here
using NR.
Bravo. So divide by
Yeah.
NR over here. Okay, and over here is going to give me the average.
So
okay?
we don't need to associate to a variable to reading before. Okay.
Because the number of row is, you know, is going, and actually is going to be in the end. So the end is the last number of rows, so the last value. Okay. Okay, be careful that over here there is the header that is also counted, and the header was number 1. So probably over here you should put number of row minus 1. Okay, because there is also the header. Okay, so always. Okay. Of course, can be combined with the pipe, you know, and we just did it this one. You can get only one column and then sort it, and then we did a unique, for example. So it's very common to do this kind of operation. You can combine it inside a bash for loop, where you have the typical for loop, and you need, for example, to export this variable I inside Python. Okay, sorry, inside AWK. So you do it with this -v, where I is equal to $I. Okay. So this it starts to become a bit fancy way of working with AWK, but is very useful. Then, of course, there are all the different mathematical operations you can do through the column. You can do the logarithmic, you can do some substring manipulation. So rather than having just 4 parts. So going back, for example, going back to the Kumar question. So this is how you do it. You paste. So you were going to get, for example, to see all the unique or all the country. The country is identified with the first 2 letters. Okay, so you want to see how many. So you have between $1 from 1 to 2. So it's going to be only the country. Then it's going to be sort, then unique, then C. So this is how you get number of file for each single country in Europe. And of course, you can see Italy, Spain, España, no? Yeah, over here are the one with and probably Greece, yeah, are the one, also France, and are the one with the most number of file. Okay, so this is how you identify. And as you can see, there is no for loop. It's very you just get one few string, just the string, then you do the sorting, and then you do the unique. Okay. Perfect. You can do some if condition. If $3 is bigger than 2, just print. Okay, so these are the most useful one when you want to. So as you can see, I'm not building 20 lines of AWK, just 1 or 2 lines, and your data becomes smaller, or you can understand what is going on in your data. Okay, so these are the more. Then you importing when you do, okay, create a file with 2 columns, number 2 and column number 2 and number 5, and then this one importing in Python, importing R for other kind of operation. So a kind of data squeezing, I call it. Okay, text manipulation for data squeezing, and then importing R or in Python. Okay. Then there are also some fancy way how to calculate a maximum in one single line. And again, don't even try to do, try to do it if you want, but just go on help and get a line. These are typical AWK that is very easy to find. How to find the maximum value in one column in AWK. You will get this kind of syntax, okay? Look, an if condition, if $3 is equal to 7, then do the sum. For example, is a sum excluding some value or getting to account only some value. Okay, so and then this one is also quite useful. If you have a huge file and you want to split a very huge 2 GB of file, okay, and you want to split in different files, you can use this syntax to split and having 10 different, not 10, but different file of 1,000 row for each for each file. I never remember this syntax, so I always check it, okay? So I always try to check it. So these are more or less, so you can also do it, you know, some query a data set on the base of column. If this column is equal to, just print it. Okay, so remember also that AWK goes automatically as an internal for loop for going down. But in order to go column by column, you have to do a for loop inside WK. Okay, so that one start to become fancy coding. So you don't really need it, okay? So, but check it and try and use it as much you can. And in particular, so this one more or less you can scrolling down and you can see some other way. When I see something very funny, I always try to insert it, like this one that I was getting for the splitting number of files. Also this one, I never remember this syntax. I come here and I copy, I use it, okay? So, and in particular, if you go back to the syllabus, there is, you know, you click over here in this GSIM, and probably some of you already downloaded, and you can follow the explanation of the file of this huge data set by checking this lecture. And once again, this one, they identify the minutes where you have to scrolling down with the YouTube because it's a long lecture and it is concentrate over here. And you can download the file and you can start to search. So let's see, I have it already over here in my machine. So I can show you quite good, you know, how to work with this data set. So if you enter in CD, GSIM zip. So over here you have GSIM indexes. So this is a nice data set, especially, okay, for my analysis, but it's good because it's very well organized. So you can see that the people that did it, they have done in MATLAB, but they are very well organized. So we can easily use it. Okay, each single one is a station ID. I make it bigger. Is a station, okay? This is the country, this is the gauging station. And I have, in this case, I have the header where I have, you know, latitude and longitude of the gauging station. And then I have, for each month, I have my observation of the mean, and then some other value, but don't worry, just check the mean. So each month, the mean. NA means no number, so missing value. And again, you have the average. So in these are meter cubic per second. So when you have this kind of data set, you want to say, okay, let's see where they are, the lat long, for example, of all these files. So what I can do it, I can immediately grep latitude, okay, of all my file. I do only US just to have something faster. So it's grepping latitude, and I can do print column number 4, AWK, print $4. Okay, so it's printing only the latitude, and now I also counted WC-L. So I'm checking that this data set has 32,000 observation, but in reality now I'm checking only United States, so they will be much less, like close to 10,000. be careful that if something is missing, it's going to count also. So what I'm going to do it before the count, I can do sort and getting the head and the tail to see if there are some empty latitude going to the top or going to the tail. Okay, and as you can see, I'm looping toward all the file. I don't need a for loop. I'm checking all the file over here. Okay, so you can see that the first one, the smallest one, is the 18. Rather, the bigger one, the biggest one is, sorry, tail is another one, is another number. So as you can see, there is no missing, there is no an empty one over here and over here. Then now I can do the word count, and I know there is going to be the correct value. So now I'm going to do the same for longitude. Okay. Okay, I can so longitude. And I can get the same value, you know, and now I can build up my X and Y coordinate. So in particular, I'm getting with this line over here that I'm going to check to show you. So paste. So I'm going to paste the two files like this, lat and long. So this one I was retrieving longitude. This one I was retrieving latitude. And the dash D stay for delimitator, separator. X and Y is going to be, and small. Because I enter here. CD. Okay. And I'm going to get immediately my X and Y. Okay. So now I have my X and Y cut. Okay. So I may have X and Y coordinates that you can plot it later on in Python in R. So as you can see, with very few lines, only one lines, you can do the X and Y coordinate of all these huge table inside and getting what you need. Okay. So you can watching the explanation. I was going to be, so it's longer than what I'm telling you, but this is the concept. Okay. So you can calculate the mean distribution, you can do some kind of monthly mean distribution, you can do some kind of operation. And in particular, if you go back to the syllabus, you have this suggested assignment that you can do it in order to play with this huge data set. Okay. In particular, you can create a file for each single month, year. So this is just one example for 1 month. So you can create a file where you have the station, the lat long, and the mean value. Okay. The mean value was this one that we saw before. Okay. So over here you have, because each single file is for one station and has all the month and year. Rather, you want to do the opposite for some analysis. For each month, year, so for each one of these, this one is going to be the file having lat long, okay, and lat long, and also the mean value. So the mean value is this. So there are different ways, and you will see there are some, probably the easy one, but they will be extremely slow. Okay, and then there are some fancy one with that you can play around. Okay, you can discover, and we will see next time some some kind of result. Okay, if someone like Saverio has already huge data set, you can start to do some plotting of the station, landslide for Saverio, for example, some outliers that you can find, you know, all this kind of operation. And if you have some other file, yeah, please do it. Try to do some analysis and be ready to share for next time.